police, as you can see behind me, still on scene here. This all happened at a home right over my shoulder. And those witnesses tell us that, as you mentioned, it appears that these two teenagers may have been playing with a gun and it went off. The scene is still active tonight. There's still police crime scene tape up here just off Monroe outside the Greektown Casino. You mentioned it's dark. It certainly is. We're actually using our floodlight here to showcase some of the damage. Now, if you take a look behind me here, serious downed power lines. Obviously, that's a safety issue. Ditching the unlimited personal injury protection requirement is a big hit with most of the drivers I spoke with around Metro Detroit. Yeah, wow is right, Brian. The homeowner and his wife were actually inside when this giant tree came crashing down. You can see totally ripped from its root there. The Onyx, which is listed as a defendant in this lawsuit, has not responded to our attempts to reach them for a comment. Schmidt's attorneys say he's speaking out now in the hopes of protecting other young athletes. And a gas station employee over here at the ExxonMobil heard what he thought was an explosion. That's when he came outside and saw the aftermath of that crash. It's all thanks to a Hazel Park police dog who led officers just across the street from the little boy's home to a garage, his neighbor's garage, in fact. And after hours of panic in this neighborhood, that little toddler was found safe. Some neighbors were not allowed access into their homes, while others had to stay inside as police attempted to negotiate with this gunman. And take a look behind me. You can see that home. This is the aftermath of that 32-hour-long standoff here. Inspectors are ordering 4 rides to be shut down here at Jeepers until these safety issues are addressed. According to the state, they violate Michigan's Carnival Amusement Safety Act. Well, Brian, you don't hear a story like this every day, that's for sure. The owner, Eric Brown, tells me his white 6-month-old goat, Cutie Pie, is normally seen right here in the front yard with her companion, Deer. Yeah, despite this rain, people are slowly starting to trickle in. The event officially kicks off here in about an hour, and there's really something here for everyone. We've got games over here, carnival rides, and of course, what most of us are probably here for, tons of fair food. Now, Well, Dave, Carolyn, those two boys were playing outside here at Erickson Elementary back in late April when this all happened. But it wasn't until 2 days ago that one of the child's mother, Kamishi Lindley, learned that her 10-year-old was charged with aggravated assault in juvenile court.
These kids are basically playing a game that we all have played.
But on April 29th, what seemed like a harmless game ended with one student getting seriously hurt. According to the boy's mother, who asked we not show her face, he has a rare medical condition, making head injuries especially dangerous. According to a police report, during that game, another student threw a ball at his face on purpose.
He sustained facial tissue damage to his face. He had a black eye and a bruised nose.
Records show the then 4th grader also suffered a concussion. His condition is something Kamishi Lindley says she and her son, Bryce, knew nothing about. Wednesday, Bryce was charged with aggravated assault.
This is a kid that was playing on the playground with his friends.
I tried not to let it get to this point.
This mother claiming her son had been hurt before and that she reported it to the school.
My son was hit twice in the face with a ball previously due to this, and the child apologized to my son and he said, "Mom, it's okay. We're still going to be friends."
I'm unaware of any of those situations. Sorry that her child got hurt. I'd be sorry for any child that got hurt.
Lindley just wishes problems like this could be solved in the classroom, not the court. Now, both parents are telling me this situation has really affected their kids' ability to enjoy school and look forward to the start of the next school year. Meanwhile, this case will be in juvenile court August 1st for a pretrial hearing. In Canton tonight, Jenn Schanz, 7 Action News. Well, for the past several months, a young mother has been living in a roach-infested apartment here in Inkster. She's been dealing with this. They're in every corner, on almost every wall, and in her kids' beds. She has 2 young children and 1 on the way.
They're in my...
You can't turn around in Shaquille Logan's apartment on Pine Street without coming face to face with these.
We eat outside because of the roaches. They're so bad.
Even under her book bag, dozens of cockroaches.
Ah! See, I wasn't expecting that.
How long has it been like this?
Maybe about 5 to 6 months.
And have you asked management to come and deal with the problem?
Exterminator came twice. And to me, it seems like they get worse.
Andrew Carter is with the Inkster Housing Commission's resident council. He also lives here.
This is so bad, that even hell don't want to have anything to do with it.
The Inkster Housing Commission is funded through HUD. The executive director is hired by a board of commissioners. He says part of the problem here is that people aren't appropriately filling out work orders.
You cannot legally enter a dwelling unit without having a work order. We are working to try to educate our families, as well as working with our resident council to educate families.
He also says the Housing Commission isn't satisfied with the work of its contracted exterminator, Terminac. Shakia is worried about her kids' health if, and it's hard to picture, this gets worse.
I hear about kids getting roaches in their ears. It does feel hopeless at this point.
Shakia is hoping to be moved to another unit before she gives birth to her third child. Meanwhile, though, she says dozens of her neighbors are dealing with this exact same problem. In Inkster, Jenn Schanz, 7 Action News. Simon and Amira, debris from that crash is still here along West 7 Mile Road. The impact of that crash even ripping this light pole right in half here. But as you mentioned, also growing here is a memorial not only for Jenn Schanz, but for her unborn baby the world had yet to meet. The family of 25-year-old Jenn Schanz says they're torn up at the sudden loss of the mother-to-be. According to Detroit police, Schanz was driving east on West 7 Mile Road Friday afternoon when she lost control of her car and struck a light pole. Tony Durden captured this footage of the crash on his way to pick his kids up from school.
My God. My God.
I look to my left and I see a car that looked like it was like stacked on top of each other. It looked like 2 cars stacked on top of each other. But as I got closer, I noticed it was one car. In the back of the car, it was like folded in half, looked like a folded up pretzel.
Footage from our Chopper 7 shows the car and the light pole, both torn in two, debris scattered all over the grass. Schanz was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. She was pregnant, due in early June.
My heart is with the family. I'm just lost for words.
Detroit police say no one else was in the car at the time and no other cars were involved. They're still investigating what led up to the crash. Schanz's friends and family have taken to social media, expressing both sadness and disbelief in the loss of not only Schanz, but also her unborn child. Now, one of the messages you'll see here written on a lot of these balloons is Forever 25. According to Schanz's Facebook page, that baby due in early June was a girl. It's still unclear what led up to this crash, and we expect to learn more from Detroit police in the coming days. Live on the city's northwest side, Jenn Schanz, 7 Action News. Well, Glenda, we are still digging for answers tonight. There's a pretty cryptic sign on the front of this business. It says, due to an emergency beyond our control, we are unable to conduct business as usual. It's our hope to be back soon. But this sign does little to ease the anxiety and the stress of the bridesmaids and the brides that I spoke with who still don't have their dresses.
We're just very frustrated, and we want to just have our dresses. We paid for them. Why aren't we getting them?
These bridesmaids each paid around $180 for dresses at Bella Rose Bridal to wear to a September wedding. Only now the store appears to be closed. Based on the sign on the front door, it's not clear why or for how long. Carolyn Watson is the bride.
We've ordered them in November, and it's been, 9 months now?
8 months.
8 months now, and we have not got our dresses. And today I was told that the store is now closed and we would not be reimbursed for our money.
We attempted to contact Bella Rose, which has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So far, no answer. These women haven't gotten through either. They say the seamstress and co-owner they were speaking with stopped returning their messages. In the storefront, there's still a list of upcoming weddings. Who told you that you wouldn't be reimbursed?
One of the owners.
And how much money did you spend on these dresses?
Over $2,500.
The store is still filled with dresses, just not theirs. These women are now hoping another boutique can get them the same style they ordered from Bella Rose in time for the wedding. In terms of making this right, they say, there's really only one thing they want.
At this point, I feel like just refunding the money.
Now, Glenda, since we've been in this parking lot, we've been approached by several people now, including one groom who came up to us and said they're dealing with this headache too, and they want answers. Now, I'm told that there is a free alteration deal being offered by the owners here for all of those affected, but the problem is the women we spoke to don't have dresses to be altered. As I mentioned in my story, we've reached out to this owner several times. We're hoping to get in contact with them so we can get more answers for you. We, of course, will stay on top of this story, both on the air, online, and on social media. Well, Rudy, Sima, this is still a very active scene here on Winchester, just off Losser Road, as police continue to work to get that suspected shooter out of her home. You can see Southfield police are still on scene here. MSP are still here. They've been working out of a barricaded vehicle for several hours now. Southfield police were called here a little before 4:30 today on a report that a woman had shot her husband. Now, when they arrived, they brought the man outside and realized he was dead. Now, as you mentioned, they're focused on getting his wife, that suspected shooter, out of that home. Police say she barricaded herself in a bedroom shortly after that shooting. Southfield Police, Michigan State Police, and SWAT are here. We have seen that armored vehicle and also MSP's bomb squad, as you mentioned. Around 8 o'clock, state troopers brought out their robots as well. And meanwhile, neighbors watched in shock this afternoon as this all unfolded.
This is real crazy. It's kind of shocking because we were all in the house, we were watching TV, and my daughter came to the window and said, there's a bunch of police officers outside, not knowing what's going on. And like I said before, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood, so it's kind of, uneasy.
We've been hearing officers speaking through a megaphone, but we are being kept quite a distance away from the actual home, so we haven't been able to make out just what they're saying. We did hear a little while ago from a neighbor who wasn't able to access her home. All she said is that the couple who lived there was a nice couple. That's all she would tell us. Again, this is a very active situation unfolding minute by minute here. We're expecting to get updates from police shortly. Be sure to follow us not only on the air, but online, WXYZ.com, and on social media as we get the very latest.